What's going on, everybody? You're now tuned in to the Triple M Boxing Channel, your source for all your boxing needs. Last Saturday, history was made live on Netflix at the Allegiant Stadium. Unbelievable fight of nights. There was a lot of emotions going into that, but what were your overall thoughts of that card, man?
I thought it was a success. Number one, biggest success is Netflix. There was no lag at all.
Yeah.
So shout outs to Netflix for fixing that because that was that was not the card or the fight to mess up. Because that's a big deal. Probably arguably the biggest fight in the last 5 years, maybe. So that was the fight to not mess up, and they didn't. So shout outs to Netflix. But it was a wonderful card overall.
Beautiful card, man. Let's go over this fight card. We got to talk about our countrymen Christian and Billy versus Lester Martinez. Man, that fight was non-stop, back-to-back action. I was shook that they held that pace from 1 to 10. Truly, that was an incredible fight, man. What are your first thoughts on that?
Man, um, both of their conditioning was top notch. I told you this in the what do you call it, the our last video, the fight prediction, that this should have been the co-main. Hell, this probably would have been close to being the main event. With how much action we got. Christian and Billy was obviously being himself. He was the man marching forward, throwing a lot of punches, barrages of punches. But guess what? Martinez was that guy as well. He was moving a little more, but his back was in the ropes the whole fight. However, he was also landing the shots. So I thought it was a great action-packed fight. It was really close. I I'm not mad at the draw. I had Billy winning by like a round or two. However, if you had Martinez winning, or if you had it actually as a draw, I'm not really mad, to be honest. It wasn't like that win by, if for me, if Billy won, it would have been okay, but there's still going to be a lot of questions, right? But in terms of his output, the fact that he was moving forward, although some of the rounds it wasn't effective and Martinez was a little bit more effective, I thought he won just a little bit, really, really close. But like I said, I think a draw is the best decision, and I think they should run it back, and I think they're gonna have the same type of fight, but even more. Even they're gonna adjust a little bit, but we're still gonna have the same power, or same power punches that they threw. So
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. You know how they say style makes fights? Styles
yeah,
makes fights?
yeah,
Man, and Billy found his match.
yeah,
Literally, it was 50-50 the
yeah.
whole fight from 1 to 10. And I was like, man, it's just gonna take one hit.
There's a lot of one
But
hits
dude, I was shocked.
for
I
both
was
ends,
yeah,
both
for both
ends.
of them. Yeah. I was just waiting because something big was bound to happen, but they were just so evenly matched that they just canceled each other out,
Yeah, it's
right?
exactly what it is, man. I think and Billy found his match, and Martinez also found his match. So it's like better BF Bivol. They're 1-1. We still don't know who's better, and I
Yeah.
think that's them now too. Which one is better. So we'll have to wait and see. I guess I'm sure they'll do the rematch because they're both they're both fighting for the mandatory. So we'll see. We'll see where they go.
I'd watch that, and I hope it's a main card event too, because that was just
Maybe main party in
absolute.
Canada.
Yeah, hopefully,
It's worth it.
it'd be amazing. Now the co-main event, Callum Walsh versus Fernando Vargas Jr. I was actually quite shocked of how this fight went down, man. I'll let you start. What do you think of this?
I thought it was pretty easy win by Callum Walsh. He was dictating the pace, although Vargas was down. He was down to scrap. He was trying his best, but I feel like this was kind of like the same fight as the Crawford Canelo, where it was close, but it was clear who won. I thought Callum Walsh won. He was able to box effectively. He was able to hit the more effective shots when he had to. He just had more moments than Vargas, and I thought he deserves a nod.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. I had I didn't have high expectations for that fight. I'll be honest with you. You know, like we didn't really see anything too crazy from both those guys. Callum, though, that's I kind of want to see him fight more.
Yeah,
You know, he brought a crazy package last Saturday night. And I'm going to say it, in my opinion, it looked like he dog walked Fernando Vargas Jr.
yeah. I do want to see him in more fights. Brandon Adams was he beat Bohachuk that night, same night as well. So that would have been a good fight. But you know, Callum Moss is in a dangerous division, man. This is 154 is probably the most dangerous division right now. So, you know, I want to see him against all these cats. Do I think he's gonna be victorious against these cats? I don't think so. But hey, prove us wrong. Like what the man in the main event did.
Ooh, man, talk about that. Let's talk about the main event, Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. After watching that fight and rewatching it, I'm gonna say this. We might get a lot of flack for this. Well, I might get a lot of flack for this, but I don't think Canelo has all the skills. He's throughout the whole fight, he was just looking for that one power shot. He's not setting anything up. You notice that little leap and left hook he does going to the body? He kept going for that. And I'm thinking, okay, are you going to go up top next? He didn't. It was it's just weird just watching him fight and knowing that you're down on the scorecards, you would think you're going to turn up the heat.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Crawford really came to show that he really is that dude Saturday night. What are your thoughts on that fight, man?
Man, I'm surprised. You know, I think it's safe to say that Crawford is the best of this generation. You know, he followed the footsteps of Manny Pacquiao, of Mayweather, hell, even Canelo. You know, Canelo was he's kind of like on the verge right now, but obviously, you know, after that fight, he's not, but he was at the top of the sport. You know, what 3, 4, 5 years ago. I think it is Crawford's year now, man. But I'm really shocked. You know, proved us wrong. Yeah, I thought the bigger guy is just going to be a bigger guy. I was going by logic. You know, no one goes up 2.5 weight classes to fight the guy that's been undefeated for 7 years. That was is the face of boxing at the time, obviously before they fought, and you know, been knocked out a few guys in that division, but was undefeated, and he was a power puncher. Knocked down pretty much most of the opponents in that division. That was way bigger than him. Logic just says the smaller guy will fall. But man, I also said during our breakdown video that it all depends if Crawford can take the punch. But two things that I noticed: one, he can take a good punch, but second, he didn't let Canelo hit him with the clean punches. I know you're talking about how Canelo is just a one-shot pot shot guy. He was successful doing that, but with previous opponents, all those pot shots were getting followed by combos because they're staying in the pocket. Crawford didn't let that happen. I think it's a little bit of both. Crawford boxed wonderfully. He fought like Bivol, man. What Bivol did is just box on the outside and throw flurries. That's what he did. And the thing that surprised me is it had this, like, Crawford's punches had the same effect as Bivol's punches when Canelo moved up to 175. It's hard to hurt Canelo, but you can freeze him for 0.1, 0.2 seconds. That's more than enough for you to get the actual flurries. Man, that's what happened. I'm really surprised. I thought Canelo was just going to eat it and move forward. I mean, he did try. However, Crawford was so crafty and he's sharp with the punches, man. He was hitting him right in the chin. So it stops Canelo a bit. And then by the time Canelo's ready to go, guess what? Crawford's not there. So shout outs to Crawford, man. I love watching greatness, and that's what we all saw, man, in front of 70,000 people. And I don't know how many millions of people that were watching. Pretty much anyone I know, they're watching on Netflix, man. So this is great. Obviously, everyone knows who Terence Bud Crawford is now. But this was a crazy. This is probably one of the best wins I've seen in a while. Like, who can top this win right now, man? Unless, you know, Canelo moves up and fight Usyk and beats him. You know, that's how crazy it is. You know, or Tank comes up to, I guess Crawford now is the man, you know? Or, I mean, Tank comes up and beat Fundora. You know what I mean? Like, that is a crazy win, man. I think this will go down in the history books, man. And shout out to Bud Crawford.
Bro, I'm still shocked that it went down like that. I thought it was gonna be a different Canelo coming Saturday night, but dude, like you said, Crawford was able to neutralize everything that Canelo
See,
was wanting to do.
that's the thing. I
Literally,
don't think people are saying Canelo's washed. I just think that was Crawford's style.
yeah,
He was moving but boxing really well. But see, there's another thing. Crawford went cocky, man. The Bud Crawford came out still because he just stayed on the pocket a few times and say, "Let's freaking go."
yeah, and he
And guess
stood there
what?
too.
And guess what? He probably won those. He probably, if they had like what 5 instances where they were going toe to toe, he probably won 3 or 4 of them. That's how cocky he was. He wasn't just boxing. He's like, "Come on, let's go," which is pretty, pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, and you could tell throughout the whole fight too, Canelo was getting, you could tell he was getting irritated.
Yeah,
He would throw things and miss. Remember, he Crawford grazed Canelo with a nice shot. He came back looking at him.
yeah. He rolled in and he came back and say, "What?" Right away. That was quick.
Yeah,
Man, Crawford was sharp. Every time Canelo throws a punch, there's one that comes back. Even worse, there's not even just one. It's mostly 3 or 4 that comes back, and that's the key to beat Canelo now. This is the Canelo that has a different style where he just walks you down, breaks you down. But obviously, he kept the weight really well. He moved like he was 147. Hell,
yeah.
even probably even lighter. And that hand speed obviously was there. And obviously he's still really, really sharp. So shout out to Terence Crawford, man. It's really,
Now
really crazy.
with that huge win over Canelo, what's what's next for Crawford to do?
I mean, there's only the same as Usyk when he beat Fury twice. What was next for you? You can't go up from here unless you beat Beterbiev. You know what I mean? But even Bomac just said that's too much. Benavidez is too much. It's just too big. And what else is there for you? I don't think there's any win that'll top that now. Like I said, unless you go and but this is wishful thing. Even if you beat Beterbiev is not a champion. You got to beat
Yeah.
Bivol.
Mhm.
But I think that's just too big. A little too big now. But he said himself in the interviews he's not going back to 154. He's not going to cut all this weight now, but he might move down to 160. He's now a 5 division champion, I believe. I think he can make it 6. Obviously these are dangerous fighters that he's gonna have to beat at 160 and arguably probably even bigger than Canelo. But hell, with what I saw last weekend, man, I can't bet against that dude no more. I have him winning in every fight. And what's crazy is out of his 42 fights, I've never seen him really like lose.
Yeah.
Obviously he got hurt, but that's just one round out of a lot of rounds, that he won. But I've never really seen him struggle. He was usually the guy in control. Same fight as with Canelo. He was the guy in control through round 12.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, Canelo, knowing that he's getting paid an insane amount this fight,
150, probably got 150.
I for for me to be honest, after watching his performance last Saturday, I think it's time for him to just hang it up. Like,
Yeah.
bro, you got paid your biggest payday. What else? In my opinion, I think that's a bigger flex, to be honest. You know.
I don't even think Crawford made as close to what he's making.
Mm-mm.
I think, go back to Crawford. If you can't move down to 160, maybe just hell, I'd push for the rematch.
Yeah.
I'd ask for more because this is Canelo we're still talking about. Obviously people are probably going to say it's not going to be worth it. But hey, if you can double your money with what you made with Canelo and you beat him, what's the point? What is there? What is not the point? You got to do it. For Canelo, I think he has a few options other than retire because he's still kind of young, 35. I think another way to make money is to fight Eubank in the UK. You've never been to the UK. I know he can probably still sell out Wembley against Eubank. Eubank's from there.
Yeah.
That's one way. Probably get a good win if you beat Eubank. Hell, you got to win though. But that's probably another way to make 100 million. Obviously the rematch, which is really, really risky. It's a must win for Canelo. You can't lose. Other than that, there's either that or if I'm Canelo, since I already lost, if I can get those two, I'll probably go up to 75 again to challenge Bivol. because if you beat Bivol, then that's another stamp to your greatness, right?
Yeah,
Either that, or I mean, if Benavides wins, Benavides is a champion too. You can prove it. You can prove it to us that once and for all that you can beat Benavides. Even though after that performance, I think Benavides will win. But yeah, I think Canelo still has a lot of options, man. He's still the cash cow. People still want to. Actually, right now, people especially would want to fight him because of what
get that
happened, right?
payday. You know,
Exactly. So yeah, I think there's a lot of options for these two fighters, to be honest.
it's true, man. Very true. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section below, man. Should there be a rematch between Crawford and Canelo? Do you think Christian and Billy won against Lester Martinez? Is it worth a rematch? Let us know in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, we're the opposite of in.
Peace.